Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and from a very special place in Cairo, from Nile Palace Museum. Here in the heart of Cairo, from Nile, we bring you a very special episode. And of course, dear viewers, the Decent Life Haya Karima initiative dates back to 2019, when the Ministry of Social Solidarity was put in charge of developing Egypt's poorest 1,000 villages, where 70% of the population now are living below the poverty line. But at the end of 2020, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi decided to expand the initiative to include all the country's 4,658 villages. The initiative witnesses of course, aggregation of the work efforts of all the initiatives, such as the 100 Million Health Initiative, Solidarity and Dignity, and of course Egypt without debts, and many others. And we are honored in this context, dear viewers, to host our dear guest, Moataz, one of the volunteers of this with the Decent Life initiative, to tell us more about it. Very good day, and it's a pleasure to have you with us, May, of course, in this segment of Nile Cruise from a very special place here in Cairo, which is this wonderful, authentic architectural place in Egypt.
Yeah, thank you, and it's my pleasure to be with you and to present our efforts and our achievements in Haya Karima initiative. Actually, I'm volunteering with the Life Makers Foundation. I'm volunteering with Life Maker Foundation, and Life Makers Foundation is one of the main NGOs in Egypt participated in developing and implementing Haya Karima initiative across Egypt. Actually, we participated in the first phase of Haya Karima in 2020 and implementing our activities in Sohag and Ena in 10 villages.
Okay, May, you are responsible of 10 villages.
And the first phase.
In the first phase,
actually, yeah, I'm volunteering
in Sohag,
with a foundation called.
So this is Upper Egypt.
Yes, in
Sohag
Upper
and
Ena.
Yes. So these are the the two places, the two cities that you are volunteer, that you work. You volunteer and participate in a Decent Life initiative in these. What are your activities in this area that you participate in?
We participated in, we implemented our activities in 10 villages. The villages are.
Take your time, no problem. Take your time.
نزلة عمارة، حاجر مشطة، الهجرسة، الكوام البحري، القاوية، كوم غريب, and these villages are in Sohag, نجع عزوز, أبو مناع إبلي, سمهود, بلاد المال بحري, and these villages are in Ena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, these villages, the poverty rate in these villages are between 76% to 81%, and this is according to the poverty mapping produced by CAPMAS and based on the initiative of Haya Karima, based on this poverty mapping and selecting the villages are most in need.
May, of course, the villages, after you volunteered in the Decent Life Initiative, sorry, on the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, and you volunteered in Sohag and in Ena in Upper Egypt, the villages that you volunteered and worked on. Of course, the rate of poverty today. How long have you been working in these villages?
For like 2 years.
Okay, for 2 good years. In these 2 good years, the poverty, the rate of poverty decreased, of course, or it's still as it is?
No, of course, the rate of poverty decreased in the 10 targeted villages. Actually, after we did our interventions from medical services, providing medical services, providing economic empowerment for the targeted beneficiaries, of course, these interventions affected positively on the beneficiaries and the standard standard of living of their
and the standard of living
yes.
of the people over there.
Yes,
And
exactly.
do you see it? And do you see it? And do you see the people happy? Do you see the citizens happy?
Yes, of
do you see
course.
they feel the difference?
Of course, when they feel they feel the difference when they have a good access and a comfortable access to the medical services, to have their natural rights, to have clean water, to have sanitation connections, to have educational and awareness raising topics and raise their awareness about many topics that they were like in need, in real need to have it.
Okay, what you told us the geographical scope you covered is Qana and Sohag,
Yes.
and the 10 villages that you mentioned.
Yes.
The Ministry of Social Solidarity was put in charge of developing Egypt's poorest 1,000 villages. What is the number of targeted families, and how do you reach these families?
Actually, we targeted in the first phase 27,120 families are most in need in these targeted villages. The demographical data of each village, the services provided in each village, and other data, the economic activities in each village. Then we collected the data about the families are most in need, and verified these data from the Ministry, from the database of the Ministry of Social Solidarity, Takaful Karama, from our volunteers in the targeted villages, and from our partners like the grassroots NGOs in these villages.
What assistance do you provide to support these families?
Actually, we provide we are on the same line, and we are aligned to the interventions mentioned in Haya Karima, or the Decent Life initiative, and we provided medical services, including launching medical convoys and providing health services, providing infrastructure services like improving nurseries, decent housing, including upgrading housing and extending water connection and sanitation connections, providing social interventions, including family, children, and women, and special needs awareness for them, and provide direct in-kind aids for families are most in need, like food baskets, blankets, and clothes.
Okay, what are the criteria on which families are selected?
Okay, actually we have like two criteria. First, we have a criteria for selecting the villages, the targeted villages, and we focus on the weakness of educational level, the weakness of the road network, the needs for medical services, and the weakness of basic services in general in the village. This is the first level of determining the villages are most in need. Then we determine the families are most in need in these villages based on Takaful Karama database, the database of Ministry of Social Solidarity, and through our volunteers in the villages, and through our partners in NGOs partners in these villages. The data we collect on the families are most in need, the targeted families are most in need, we verified by field visits, verification documents like the ID, the social affairs case researches, and so on.
Okay, what is the role of youth in the initiative, and whether in the implementation or in benefiting for the initiative?
Actually, I believe that the youth have a great role and a vital role in Haya Karima initiative. And if we are talking about how to make a benefit from the initiative, they of course can make a benefit from the awareness sessions provided to youth, the capacity building programs provided to youth in many different topics. And on the other hand, they could volunteer in implementing the activities of Haya Karima, and these volunteering opportunities are provided by the NGOs participated in the and implementing the activities like Life Makers.
What are the governmental bodies you're coordinating with within the frame of this initiative? And of course, the governmental bodies help
Exactly.
you, of course, and they are of great help.
Yes,
and
exactly.
They're backing you always.
Yeah, exactly. The Ministry of Social Solidarity is the main governmental body. We are coordinating our work with them. The Ministry of Local Development, the governments, and the local authorities within the governments, the targeted governorates, sorry.
Okay, what are the goals achieved till now?
Okay, during the first phase of our participation in Haya Karima, we have installed 350 water connections in the targeted 10 village I was talking about, and we have installed.
Sorry to interrupt you, my water connections in the village or in the houses in the villages?
In the villages to connect water to the houses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a big one that connects water, smaller ones with smaller water apparatus into the houses.
Yes.
Okay.
We have installed 263 sanitation connections. We have installed 870 roofs, and we have upgraded 1,320 houses. We have provided maintenance service to 7 social units in the 10 villages, and we have provided maintenance service to 3 nurseries. We have developed 8,328 case researches for families are most in need, and we have developed 244 case researches for disabled people, and we have organized 21 medical convoys and 11 veteran convoys. We have provided 678 surgeries, and we have provided 220 prosthetic devices, and we have provided 1,920 glasses.
Wonderful. What is
Actually,
the goal?
Sorry for the interruption, but we achieved like 100% and over the 100% of our target beneficiaries.
Okay, the next phase. What is your goal of the initiative during the next phase?
Okay, we are participating in the next phase of Haya Karima and Suhag.
Decent life?
Yes, decent life in Suhag in 35 villages in Suhag, and we are targeting to reach more than 49,000 of beneficiaries, and the services are planned to be delivered, like literacy eradication, raising awareness, economic empowerment for women, providing processing devices, and building the capacity of grassroots NGOs in Suhag.
Okay, how do we participate as citizens in this initiative?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, personally, I found that volunteering within Haya Karima added to my experience, and added to the lesson learned from how to get in the community, and how to deal with the families that are most in need, and how to think out of the box to provide like services are needed by these families. So I believe the volunteering opportunities is the key password for participating in Decent Life initiative.
Okay, our guests are informative guest, wonderful guest, Moataz, one of the volunteers of the initiative Decent Life, which is of course under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gives very important attention to this Decent Life initiative, and it is on the top of his priorities. Sorry to mention, May is one of the volunteers in this initiative, and she told us a lot about the initiative. how to volunteer if you decide to volunteer, which would be a wonderful idea from here, from Nile Cruise, from Nile TV. We have one of the volunteers that's working on Upper Egypt, and she says it's a wonderful idea that everyone participates. Maya Omar, thank you very much for joining us in this segment of Nile Cruise. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have Egyptians that work on their country and want their country, of course, to become the best. Thank you very much for joining us.
You.
It was our pleasure, and thank you very much for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, stay tuned. We'll be back again.